Hello everyone, I'm your teacher for today, Danilo M. Guzman Jr. And our session for today is all about the special products square of trinomial. Before we start the lesson proper and any discussions, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Matindi Katang Musikero. In this video, our lesson is all about a square of trinomial. And here are now the steps on how to square any given example of trinomial, which is actually also a type of a special product. To start with, we have step number 1, and that is to square the first term of the trinomial. And for our second step, we need to square the second term of the given trinomial. For step number 3, we need to square the third term of the given trinomial. And for our fourth step, twice the product of the first and second term. For our fifth step, twice the product of the first and last term. And for our second to the last step, we need to twice the product of the second and last term. And then finally, in order to determine a result, we need to add all the obtained terms from step 1 to step 6. Again, for our last step, we need to add all the obtained terms from step 1 to step 6. Let us now have some examples and apply all the rules that I've mentioned. Let us start with our example number 1. For example number 1, we have this question. What is the square of the trinomial 2a plus 3b plus 5c? What is the square of 2a plus 3b plus 5c? For step number 1, we need to square the first term of the given trinomial, and it so happens that our first term is equal to 2a. What is then the square of 2a? Definitely, the square of 2a is equal to 4a squared. If I will square the first term, which is 2a, the answer is 4a squared. Proceeding to the next step, which is step number 2, we need to square the second term of our given trinomial. And it so happens that the second term of the trinomial is 3b. Now, what is the square of 3b? The square of 3b is actually equal to 9b squared. We have 9b squared. Again, the obtained term for our second term of the result is actually 9b squared. For step number 3, we need to square the third term or last term of our given. And it so happens that the last term is 5c. What is then the square of 5c? The square of 5c is equal to 25c squared. Again, the obtained term for step number 3, we have 25c squared. For step number 4, we need to twice the product of the first and second term. Now, if we have to twice the product of the first and second term, our first term is actually 2a and our second term is 3b, and we need to twice their product. If that, what is then the product of 2 times 2a times 3b? The product of 2 times 2a times 3b is equal to 12ab. Let us now proceed to step number 5. For step number 5, twice the product of the first and last term. It so happened that our first term is 2a and our last term is 5c. Now we have to twice their product. And what is now the product of 2 times 2a times 5c? 2 times 2a times 5c equals 20ac. For step number 6, twice the product of the second and last term. 3b is the second term of our trinomial and 5c is actually the last term. If we're going to multiply them and twice their product, what is then the value for 2 times 3b times 5c? 2 times 3b times 5c equals 30bc. I repeat, the answer is 30bc. And then finally, for our last step, we need to add all the obtained terms from step 1 to step 6. Finally, we have now our spatial product for the given square of trinomial 2a plus 3b plus 5c. We have it as 4a square plus 9b square plus 25c square plus 12ab plus 20ac plus 30bc. And for our second example, we have what is the square of 2x minus 4y plus 6z? Again, for our step number 1, we need to square the first term. The first term of the trinomial is 2x. What is then the square of 2x? The square of 2x is actually equal to 4x squared. 4x squared then will be the first term of our final answer. For step number 2, we need to square the second term. The second term of our trinomial is negative 4y. What is then the square of negative 4y? The square of negative 4y is actually equal to 16y squared. Now we already have the second term of our final answer. We have it as 16y squared. For step number 3, we need to square the third term. What is then the square of 6z? The square of 6z is actually equal to 36z squared. Now we already have the third term of our final answer. For our fourth step, we need to twice the product of the first and second term. What is then the product of 2 times 2x times negative 4y? Their product is actually equal to negative 16xy. And this is also the fourth term of our final answer. We have it as negative 16xy. Step number 5. Twice the product of the first and last term. What is then the product of 2 times 2x times 6z? Their product is actually equal to 24xz. Second to the last step, twice the product of second and last term. What is then the product of 2 times negative 4y times 6z? And that is actually equal to negative 48yz as the last term of our final answer. And for our final step, we need to add all the obtained terms from step 1 to step 6. Finally, our answer is 4x squared plus 16y squared plus 36z squared minus 16xy plus 24xz minus 48yz. For example number 3, what is the square of 3x minus 6y minus 8z? Since all the rules were already discussed and presented, let us now answer example number 3 and make it a little bit faster. The square of 3x minus 6y minus 8z is actually equal to 9x squared plus 36y squared plus 64z squared minus 36xy minus 48xz plus 96yz. Again, our final answer is 9x squared plus 36y squared plus 64z squared minus 36xy minus 48xz plus 96yz. For example number 4, what is the square of the trinomial 9x plus 3y minus 2z? And this is actually our answer for example number 4. We have it as 81x squared plus 9y squared plus 4z squared plus 54xy minus 36xz minus 12yz. And for our fifth example, we have what is the square of the trinomial 4x plus 5y plus 2z? And this is actually our final answer. We have 16x squared plus 25y squared plus 4z squared plus 40xy plus 16xz plus 20yz. And that's the end of our lesson regarding about the special product square of trinomial. Thank you for watching our video. God bless us and thank you very much. Again, this is Matinik at ang Musikero channel now signing off.